Good morning, everyone. My name is Zsuzsanna Szabo. I'm an employment manager working for Support4Sight. Firstly, I would like to thank Macular Society for inviting me to do a talk on the benefit of working. It's a great privilege and an honor to be here this morning and attending the annual conference. So thank you again for having me. So as I mentioned, my name is Zsuzsi. I work for a local charity in Essex called Support4Sight. We are a charity that's covering West and Mid Essex area. We are offering ECLO support in some of the hospitals in our area. We have community support to our members and clients. We do day trips and weekend trips and coffee mornings and various activities in our centres and in our hubs. And we also offer assistive technology advice. Within Support4Sight, I am running the employment service, but uniquely the employment service is actually Essex-wide because we are working in partnership with 3 other charities under an umbrella organisation called Essex Vision. So the employment support I'm offering is Essex-wide to blind and partially sighted people who are in working age. The employment offer we have at Support4Sight is a client-centred offer. We very much have our client in the center of everything we do and look at all their needs, not just employment, but any other needs maybe that would need to be addressed in order for them to lead an independent life. So we will liaise with other agencies like our local sensory team or maybe some other societies, depending what their needs are. But within our offer, in terms of employment support, we have people who are job seekers who just want to get a paid job and come off from the benefit system. We have people who are in work retention clients who are working in employment or maybe off sick due to their sight loss, and they don't necessarily have an idea on how they can go back and carry on being in paid employment. So we have them, and if there is need and if there is a facility, then we can speak to their employers as well. We also support people who want to be self-employed. We support people who have to take ill health retirement due to maybe their sight loss, and we have and ensure that they get the best outcome there is for them in terms of parting with their employers. And we also have people to gain and sustain meaningful voluntary work, if that's what they want to do. The voluntary work can be a pathway into employment, or it can be just something they would like to do, so they have kind of part of the society and have a reason to get up for some days. And we also help our clients with their benefit situation and help them to apply for anything that they may be we fear that they should be entitled to. So if you're listening to this presentation this morning, I'm only assuming that you may be at home, maybe unemployed and thinking about going back to work, but you're not too sure at all how to start, what support is out there, and actually whether you can work and what would be the benefits to you if you go back to work. One of the psychological benefits that definitely may be a positive impact on your life, hopefully, is that you're going to feel part of society. When you are working, you are able to relate to your peers, people a little bit better. There is a conversation that you can talk about what you do. It's always something that people talk about when they meet somebody at the first time. You might even going to have a sense of purpose, or a better sense of purpose. You're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to feel like you want to get out of bed and leave your house and do something really useful with your time. You might even have some aspiration and dreams that you just can't follow up at the minute because you're not working and it just seems so far away. But once you overcome the first step, maybe those other aspiration and dreams would be more reachable for you. And most likely you're going to have a better mental health. If you are suffering with maybe depression and anxiety and you just don't want to leave your house, then going to work can give you the structure that really just helps you to kind of have a better life. And that's a couple of things that psychologically helps people who are in employment. The economical benefits of working is that obviously once you go to work, you're going to be earning money, and obviously, hopefully, you are going to be able to have a better quality of life for yourself. You're not going to rely on benefits, so you're not going to have to deal with the job centre and DWP as much as you maybe did before. Obviously, there are some benefits that you will keep because you are disabled, and there are some benefits that you might lose because now you are in work, but not having to deal with those agencies actually usually is a plus for most people. Once you start earning, obviously you're going to be contributing to your tax and national insurance, which can again help you in the long way. In the long run, obviously, once you reach pensionable age, you're going to hopefully have a better pension. Again, you're going to be part of a working economic community, and you will hopefully be able to make better consumer choices because you will have the finances to make those better choices that are better for you or just more fun and things that you want to do rather than as an essential things that you can only do because you're relying on benefits. Thank you. There is a bit of a transition pathway from unemployment to employment. And the first thing I would like to acknowledge here is that working or looking for work is actually harder than working. And can take time, and it's not an easy process, not physically, not mentally, but it's definitely something that people go through all the time. They just have an idea they would like to work, and then in a couple of months, maybe 6 months later, they are actually in paid employment. So it's worth to take the risk if that's how you feel. One of the things I would say is please have a good understanding about your rights. And this is about maybe even having or reading the Equality Act 2000 and have some understanding what your rights are when you're going for an interview, what employers need to do in terms of reasonable adjustment to make sure that you can apply for a job and pass an interview and actually get into a paid position. Please make sure you are relevant. So if you haven't worked for a long time and you feel you can't really offer anything to an employer, please go and do some voluntary work, get some skills, get some experience, get something under your belt whereby you will be the most relevant or as relevant as you can be to a potential employer. As I mentioned, volunteering is a great part to go into paid employment. And I have many clients actually who just volunteered somewhere, and those volunteering opportunities turned into paid employment. Please understand the benefit system as well before you maybe take a paid employment or you're thinking about jobs. Many times I came across this where clients sadly were worse off by getting paid employment, or they got a job that wasn't an hourly job that wasn't really to their benefits financially. So if you can, please get some support on what benefits you're going to be losing and what else you can gain and how you're going to be supported and how long your wage is going to be how long your wage is going to take you, because the worst thing you want to do is get a job and then be worse off financially. Also, please have a look into Access to Work. It's a government-funded department. I'm going to talk about it on the next slide a little bit longer on Access to Work, but a couple of years ago, I did a series of videos called Sight Loss and Employment with the Macular Society, and we do have a great video on Access to Work that maybe you could watch before you really think about getting paid employment and understand what support is available for you on there. From them. And if you can get information, advice and guidelines from somebody like me or even from the Macular Society, somebody who can really help you on how to disclose your disability, what a correct way to present maybe your CV, cover letter, how to get ready for interviews, and even just as simple as where to look for paid employment. So please get as much advice as you can and think about the part that will take you down to paid employment. As I mentioned a second ago, there is Access to Work, which is a government-funded scheme. It can have paid people who are in paid or self-employment. They can work part or full-time. There's actually no restriction how many hours you work. Blind and partially sighted people usually have 3 types of support from them. One, you can apply for assistive technology support. You can have a transfer to and from work, and you can also have a support worker who is usually a fully sighted person who can help you and enable you to do part of your role that you are unable to do with the support of assistive technology due to your sight loss. So there is loads of support they can provide you with. And if you are applying for access to work within the first 6 weeks of your employment, and if your employer is a small company, small organization, there is no extra cost to the employer at all. No extra cost to employ you at all. And as I mentioned, this is a great video on the Macular Society website that maybe is something you could watch if you are interested. So this is the question on the next slide is, or the title of the next slide is, what jobs blind and partially sighted people can do. I get asked that question and have been asked that question probably more than 1,000 times by now. And I always say that I don't really know, just because somebody is visually impaired, it doesn't necessarily define them in terms of employment. Obviously, there are a couple of jobs that are going to be impossible for blind and partially sighted people to do, but there are still things like, are you actually qualified? Have you got any experience? Have you got any knowledge? Are you relevant to the employer? Are you motivated maybe to learn, to gain new skills? Are you open-minded, maybe just even to your own ability to understand that you're going to do things differently? You can still get a job done, but maybe you're just going to have a different approach than before, maybe when you were fully sighted. And then obviously you have to have most of the time really good assistive technology and IT skills, as most jobs that blind and partially sighted people are undertaking today are usually office-based or computer-based. That is not always the case, but if you have good assistive technology and IT skills, obviously life is going to be just a little bit easier, and getting a job is going to be easier. But what type of jobs that currently my clients are doing? I have clients who are working as teachers. I have social workers on my caseload. I have advisors who are working for charities like me. Obviously, what I'm doing now, you could definitely do even if you have sight loss, obviously. I do have clients who like manual work as well, and they are working in manual environments. So I have somebody who works as an operative in a factory. I have people who work in banks, and people who are doing gardening and horticulture and various other other jobs. So anything is possible. It's just basically you need to understand how you are relevant. You need to be able to advocate for yourself to an employer, how you're going to be able to do the job and what support is available. And if you can, just please ask for further support from somebody like me. Thank you so much for spending the last 20 minutes with me. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. And if you would like to have a chat with me or reach out to me, then my email address is zsuzsanna@support4sight.org.uk. Zsuzsanna is spelled as ZSUZSANNA, or you can reach me via the Macular Society. And I look forward to hearing from you. Many thanks, and have a lovely day and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.